Hello, it's Sandy Hartnett and Kathy Lundeen, the Buzzkillers. We're here today to interview Mark Mathews. He's running for re-election to the Select Board. He will be here in a few minutes.
So look for these signs. Oh, there's Mark now. Come right in.
Background and stuff.
Okay, Mark. Nice to see you again.
Well, nice to see both of
Yeah,
you, and
yeah.
thank you, Sandy, and
Yeah,
thank you, Kathy,
thanks.
for having me here.
Yeah,
It's very
we
wonderful.
enjoy
I'd
it.
also like to thank Pepperell Community Media for taping this. They do an outstanding job in this
They do.
town. One of the things is there is potential funding that will help our local Pepperell Community Media. I think we need to get behind it.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
with that, I would like to get started, and first,
Okay.
again, thank you. Introductions, my name's Mark Mathews, and I'm currently the Select Board Chair, completing my first term, which was of 3 years. I moved to Pepperell 8 years ago from Westford, and I owned a manufacturing company located in Lomar Park. Currently, I'm retired from business, and I think what's really helped me is with my management experience throughout my career, it's helped me greatly as a Select Board member. It's also helped me as a community supporter because, again, of my financial background and working with it. Over the last 3 years, I've met with many of the community supporters, and I think it's helped with that because of looking at people and finding their different needs, their beliefs, and their goals. I work very hard to listen to others because I think it's important to hear all sides and to not just pick something or associate your something with one area. I represent really all the issues in the community, and I work very, very hard to have a balanced approach to all issues. Since I've been in the Select Board, one of my accomplishments is as chair. I identified a structured program that we have with our meetings. I think the structured program has been very helpful because it keeps the process going slowly. It gives citizens opportunities for input. We also, as a Select Board, did an extensive analysis on the ARPA monies and things that we had to do with that. That was very, very important. Part of what we do is we went through and we did the successful, I led the successful adoption of the Community Preservation Act. That was something that hadn't been done before, but it was resoundingly voted in and was successfully put in together. That also helped me become a better community leader because as I went out and talked about the program, I talked to people who were strongly supportive, but people who also were not supportive of it. And again, it helped teach me, and I was able to learn the different views that people had and then how I could work alongside with them. Also, as the Select Board, we worked with the Personnel Board to replace the personnel policy for the town. I also wrote community charges or committee charges, and what committee charges are, they're kind of like how the committee should be run. I wrote them for 4 new committees, and I kicked all of them off as the leader of the Select Board. These include the Affordable Housing Trust, the 250th Anniversary Committee, the Community Preservation Committee, and now we have the New Building Committee. The board also, and together, we made an excellent choice in interviewing and then selecting Chief Todd Blaine to be our police chief. As we found, he's doing a tremendous job in the community, and we're very, very happy to have him in it. As also Select Board Chair, my job with the other members is to identify important topics that we'll be discussing at the Select Board meetings. And those include PFAS, which is a water issue that we have here. Also, the Patriot Regional Emergency Communications Center, which is critical to our safety here in town. We brought in patch, and one of the things with patch is that it's a food-needy opportunity, and we should be exposing that to our citizens. Also, we brought in other boards, commissions, and committees, and they've all come before the Select Board over the past 3 years. We also, as a Select Board, we work to establish a town resolution against violence, which is a charter and it's a paper that we firmly believe as a town we will not accept violence and we will work against it. Also, we have a flag policy, and this year the Select Board put in very specific goals that were individual to us, and it's helped us align with the priorities of the town to work to try to accomplish specific things that are important to the town. So as I look at current priorities, the school budget and the town budget, I mean, those are critical. We're looking at a substantial increase in taxes. Part of it is a result that we didn't approve a override last year for the school, and we had to take that out of free cash. Also, I think with the town budget, we're looking at that, and that's very critical and important to people. One thing that I will say now is that I think an override is required.
Okay.
It's something that I voted on at the select board meeting, so it's public information. But that part of it is that if we have the lowest cost per pupil in all of the areas around us and compared to other regional schools, I'm not particularly proud of that. We shouldn't be the lowest in something like that. We should be trying to help our students. Also, with the town budget, I don't think we can afford to cut services. We've become accustomed to, we like our services, and to start cutting things like that, I don't feel are appropriate. So I think we really need to look hard at that. There's some good information, or it will be out on the town website, as to the budget, what the impact would be on your own individual home with calculators that you could look at it.
I just posted that.
Did
Those
you?
visuals, yeah,
Oh.
they're pretty good.
Very good.
Yep,
Yeah, you
it's
can
pretty-
put in your
yeah.
address, it'll
I
tell you
think
what
it's
your tax
pretty-
rate is, and we'll tell you what it would be.
And the
Oh, that's
link
good.
there, I think there were visuals that were good.
You see,
Yeah.
Kathy, and this is what is important, and you say that, and the visuals are good, but this is the communication that we need. You know, this is what I think is happening more and more in the town, and the one thing I did learn is that we needed to communicate more, and we needed to communicate better. Part of my job as a select board and as a citizen is, yeah, I spend a lot of time out there trying to communicate. Spend a lot of time working with the other committees, which I'll talk about later on, but to really try to develop them and get the information out there so people will be informed when they make a decision. So something else that's a priority to me is affordable housing. We desperately need it with our citizens here in town, seniors, veterans, people who are just in need. And affordable housing can be for teachers, can be for firefighters, can be for EMTs, they can be for somebody who works at a computer company. It's not what people, in quotes, say this is only for those people who need affordable housing. The way it became important to me is in my last election, I met a Gold Star widow that lives here in Pepperell. And she told me about how hard it was for her to live here because of the taxes and the cost, the inflation. And that 10 minutes that I spent with her has left a lifelong impact on me, and just how important it is for us to have affordable housing. So I am so committed to doing that and want to work hard to try to bring it to our town and make it affordable for people so they can live here. Also, I really try to help local businesses. It's priorities here. One of the things that I am doing is I'm a member of a group, and it's all from the 1st Middlesex District. And these are towns that include Ashby, Townsend, Lunenburg, Dunstable, Groton, and Pepperell. And what we're doing is we're working on economic tourism. We're trying to figure out, using a thing like Destination Groton, as to how we can bring in dollars to the local businesses here from people coming from New York, Connecticut, Boston. And that we're a wonderful, wonderful town. We would like people to visit and spend some time and spend some money here. So,
I have a suggestion.
sure,
You
please.
could find the owner of the building that has that tattered flag hanging in front of the spot. Sorry, that's very unattractive. I mean, if you want people, they're gonna come from New York and go, hey, I can get this in New York. That
it's
says a
true.
lot about a town.
Okay.
Something as little as that.
So you're saying we need to take pride in ourselves, too?
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
would agree. And I think the communication and talking about these things and showing people how it can be
Yeah.
done, I think would work.
Yeah.
Part of that, and what I'm very proud of, is I've worked with the folks, again, from this whole 6 group here, and there's all this collaboration that's going on. There's a website called Destination Groton, and it was put together, and it's an incredible piece. It talks about the historical, the cultural, the environmental, the agriculture, the history, everything that they have about their town, and you can go to one place. Well, one thing I'm doing is I'm working right now on a program, and it doesn't have to be called this, but let's say it's called discoverpetperell.com. It would be a website that would look very similar to Destination Groton. In fact, the Groton people have given me authority to talk to the web person who did theirs, and she would be very willing to work with Pepperell and do that. So I looked at that and I said, okay, seems like a good idea, but is it a good idea? So the way I like to do things, and again, is collaboration. So I've met before the PBA. I've met before the Economic Development Advisory Council. Last night, I was with the Cultural Council. Friday night, with the Cultural Council. I met with the Conservation Commission. I've talked to citizens, and I'm trying to figure out, is this a good idea? In the Select Board, I've talked about it a couple times there. And every person has said, yes, this is a good idea. So again, my commitment to the 2 of you here, but also to the town, is this isn't an idea that's just good for Mark. The people are telling me this is a good idea, and we could help spotlight, so you could go to one place. Oh, also, I've talked to the 250th committee, because with the 250th celebration, which will start off here, and then will really kick off on January 1, 2025, imagine this. If we can have somebody go to this Discover Pepperell, and they can see all the things that they're going to do on the
Yeah.
250th.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we would have that. I personally will make a commitment to it. I will help drive it. I will try to organize it. And I will also get lots of people involved in it. Oh, yes. I met with the GIS person that works here in
Okay,
town.
yeah.
And we talked about mapping and how we could put it on this website and then map. So if you wanted to go to the historical places,
Yeah.
you wanted to go to the trails, then you would just click a QR code or you would click on the map and it would show exactly where it is and what it's about. The other part about this, which I'm very excited, is because of this collaboration of all these 6 towns, the North Central Chamber of Commerce will have links to this website and also links to the calendar events that we were doing. Their website has 35,000 visitors.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah.
imagine all of a sudden we have 35,000 visitors that
Yeah.
are interested in our town.
Yeah. Yep.
And we have a lot of wonderful things about
Great
this
idea.
town that we
Yeah.
could
No,
feature.
that is,
Yep.
yeah, you're busy.
Well, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
The other thing that's a priority is we have to make sure we take full advantage of Patch. I asked Susan McCarthy to come in and she gave a great presentation. And the reason is because there are people who don't know about Patch and they're food needy. I spoke to the police chief and have congratulated him and his team because the police sometimes will find someone who's food needy and they've brought them down to Patch.
Oh, that's good.
So the volunteers that are down there, they work very, very hard, and we need to talk about it. We need to expose it. We need to say, this is a wonderful thing for our community. So I want to continue to focus on that. The Albert Harris Center, wow.
Yeah.
Great programs,
Yeah.
wonderful people down there. The things that are really neat about it is that the people that come down there, sometimes it might be their best meal of the day, but also this is a place for community, and they're able to do it. I am writing letters right now to help with transportation from the state, so we'll help our transportation here. Also, I was contacted by a person who goes to the Albert Harris Center who can't get a ride to Boston for hospital visits. So right now I'm working with the director of the Albert Harris Center, also the Groton Senior Center, to try to see if we can get back that transportation that we did before, where they can bring someone who's afraid of driving in Boston or afraid of driving after dark, but can still make their doctor's appointments. And I will say probably the most fun I have at the Albert Harris Center is the volunteering. I'll go down there and I'll serve meals. It is just such a hoot to spend time with
Yeah, it
these
is.
wonderful people and just the joy that this community center. So again, it's a priority.
The thing missing with transportation is when they're in the hospital, they need rides home.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the
That's
other
it.
side of it.
And they don't always have family that can do it.
No,
No.
They don't.
no. And then
So-
they're stuck there for a longer period than is needed.
So Kathy, and this is part of it, is we need to have these discussions. Not everyone has that, but the ones who do, we need to try to help them. And the best way is, again, as I said at the beginning, communication.
Yeah.
Talking about these things and what to do. The other thing that a priority for me is to help support this great 250th anniversary. They are announcing things where they would have these tremendous celebrations that would help bring monies into our businesses here. We are already known for having the best fireworks and the best parade on the 4th of July. They've committed to, it's going to be even bigger, it's going to be even better. So this will be an exciting thing for our town as we look towards 2025. Those are the things I have right now. Are there other questions that you may have?
Go ahead.
I just have a question on affordable housing. You want to make the town affordable for people. How else can you make it affordable besides housing?
I mean, taxes are a challenge.
Taxes,
All
yeah.
right. I don't know, I mean, we don't want to bring in any more like stores and things like that.
Okay.
But, if people can, I would say, shop locally, use things here, take advantage of the resources that we have in downtown, the businesses. Also, and it might be that rather than travel to Boston to do an event, see what you can do right here. For those of you who don't know, there's an incredible art park over in Groton, Andre's Center, and he has he has artists from all over the world that come in here and do sculptures. And you can go over there for free. You can climb the hill, and at the very top you can see Mount Monadnock, Pat Monadnock, and you've seen some incredible art all the way up. So I would say doing things locally here.
Okay.
I think that might help. I mean, it's not there's no silver, opportunity to say if you don't do this, but,
Yeah.
and it is tough, Sandy, for
Yeah.
a lot of people right now. I
It
would agree.
is. It is.
I would agree.
So you mentioned, you said we don't need any more businesses.
Small businesses, I mean, people are worried about targets and, market,
No,
no,
they're
that's
they're
not
not
this
gonna
here at
come
all.
here. Yeah.
I will support, though, that there's a warehouse
Yep.
that is going to be put down by the airport. I think that's a phenomenal idea. It solves
Okay.
a couple things, in that there was a interest in putting in, and it was called toxic dirt, by putting this company in there, it would no longer be there. Also, it would create another $1 million in taxes to
Yeah,
the town.
very nice.
The way the town budget is it's roughly $36 million, but about probably 11 or 12 of that is non-school, non-police, non-contractual type things. So imagine $1 million on, let's say it's 11 million, that's like a 9% increase in our taxes that are going to help our community. So, that's a good addition.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good addition.
Okay.
I just want to go to your committee restructuring. Should people on committees be committed to the mission? Like, should that be a prerequisite? And if they seem to not be for the mission, shouldn't they be removed? I mean, I don't know. It just seems like if you go on a committee, you should be
Yeah.
for the mission.
It works a couple different ways, and that if there's an existing committee that's already there, the mission has been established, and the process that we've been trying to do with the select board is that the chair would interview or would meet that person and say, this is what we're trying to do, this is our interest, this is our goals, this is our mission. And then the person would say, yes, is this something I'd be interested in, or might say, no, I don't. If it's a new committee and the committee puts the mission together, I would hope that everyone would come to the same conclusion, because one thing I'm all about is working together as a team. And as a team, that means everyone gets behind the goals,
Yep.
everyone gets behind the mission. Everyone says, yeah, I've signed up, now I'm going to do it. And so we're not working independently, we're working
Yeah.
again as a team.
Yeah, that needs to be followed through. What other thing? You already did the priorities. The Fitzpatrick. I wouldn't really discuss this here because I'm not quite
Sorry.
sure. But with your opponent, I think it's an appropriate question to
Okay.
ask. Where you stand on the Fitz? Support it? Whatever. Just in general, little discussion about it.
Yeah, there's a couple things in there. They're independent, but they're dependent upon another. One, we have the Fitzpatrick Building, and the other was we have the Fitzpatrick Collaborative that is in there right now. I am strongly supportive of the Fitzpatrick Collaborative in that, again, I get out and I see these things.
Yeah.
So last Saturday, there was the bookstore, no, 2 Saturdays
Yeah,
ago.
there
2
was a
Saturdays
busy
ago.
weekend.
There was the book sale, which
Yeah.
I volunteered at.
Yeah.
Right? I loved it. I unloaded books, I worked, and I helped arrange books. But I saw there was not a parking place in there to get it. So I also walked in there to see Marilyn Tremblay. And Marilyn Tremblay has a clothing, I guess, co-op there, and she will sell things. So what Marilyn's been able to do is she collects clothes, and then she sells them for 50 cents, $1, whatever it might be that someone can afford. Couple things with that, in that she offered, and she's offering patch right now, if there's somebody who is in need, they can go down there and they can get clothes for free.
Oh,
But more importantly, there was a fire that previous week before Maryland opened up here in Pepperell, and the family lost a lot of things. She invited them down, and they got their pick of any clothes that they wanted. So now here's a woman who's starting something out, who's bringing something to the community, and unbeknownst to the rest of the world, she's helping them out. So
Yeah.
these are the things that I think are happening in the Fitzpatrick
Yeah.
building right now, and things that can make that such a great community building. Again, and I mentioned I came from Westford, they have Rodenbush. Rodenbush is the go-to place.
Yeah.
And, we have our senior center over at the Albert Harris, but here's another place for PCA to do their plays, for dances, for recitals, for the bookstore, for Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all the different things. And it's a building that's owned by the town that I think we can work with. Now, we still there's a lot of capital investments required to that building, and that's going to be a difficult part. We have roof, we have boilers. One thing, and I'm doing now, I'm learning how to be a planner,
Yeah.
and I'm working on a expression of interest that we would submit to the state, and it would be for, it's a one-stop program, where we would look to try to see, could we get monies from the state for infrastructure, for roof, for, let me see, HVAC, heating, replace the windows, and make that older building do something. Honestly, Cindy and Kathy, I mean, my background's finance, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But, I've been studying this, I've been working at it, so we're now going through the draft process, and I hope that we'll get it submitted. And again, we'd like to have a planner full-time,
Yeah.
but in not having that, sometimes as a select board member, you've got to step up and you've got to do the work, and I'm
And you
very
have.
happy, well, I'm very happy to do it.
Yeah.
So.
But you step up a lot.
It's fun. I mean,
Well-
it's such a, I don't know if the word's joy, but to be able to work with other people and have them progress and work alongside them and then accomplish things together.
Do you have a future in politics? Are you thinking of going further, moving on from select board?
No,
Moving on up?
this is as far as I would ever
No,
want to
seriously.
go.
Because,
No, this is it. I have two wonderful grandchildren. I have outside activities that I like to do. This is a labor of love and something that I really want to do and
Nice,
stay
yeah.
with it. But
Well, you seem to walk your talk.
Yeah,
Like you
you do.
You get out there and you know the issues, you know the people. Yeah. You
Walk the-
you
the thing that I learned as a kid, and I've lived it all my life, is there's two words: honesty and integrity. Those are two things. Those are only things you can lose. No one can ever take them from you. You can
I like
lie,
that.
you've lost your honesty.
Yeah.
If you cheat, you've lost your integrity. So by living that as a process and making it part of my day-to-day life, it's
that's-
easy to tell people something, I'm going to do it when you do it. It's easy to say, let's work on this together when you really want to work with someone together on it.
yeah, you have an idea and you go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
And lots of restless energy ahead still. I
Yeah.
have many, many, many things I still want to do.
Good.
So I do want to ask you, why are you the better candidate and how do you differ from your opponent? Because I actually don't know a whole lot about your opponent. So I don't know if you do, if you could delineate.
It's an interesting question, and I think rather than talk about how I am different, I think what I'd like to do is outline what I actually do. And what I actually do is I work 20 to 30 hours every single week on select board and town business.
On business.
That's something that I
It's a
do.
full-time job.
Well, it is. I mean, it's non-paying.
30 hours, yeah.
It's non-paying. But this also includes, I prepare in depth for the select board agendas.
You do.
And then I have to run the meeting. But many times with the agendas, we have to do some outside research because we're going to be talking about something that maybe I'm learning about or just finding out about the first time. So I'll research that. Also, I think part of it is, and as I've shown, I go out in the community.
Yeah.
And I spend time with businesses. I meet with civic groups. As I said, I was with the Cultural Commission last Friday night at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And my wife said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Because that's when they meet." So it was perfectly fine to do it. But I'll visit people, and if they invite me
Yeah.
to their homes, I try to make myself very, very accessible. And so anyone can come up to me and say,
Yeah.
"Mark, I'd like to talk to you," and do what I can. I also, and I think by doing this, it gives me a better sense of what the community really needs. If I meet with, I will actually take opportunities to meet with people who don't necessarily agree with me, because I can learn from them. And it gives me a balanced approach to what it is. And in some cases, I'll change my mind because I'll learn something new from someone who had a differing opinion. But differing opinions aren't bad. It's if we
No,
don't
they're good.
communicate,
Yeah,
it's bad.
that's how
And
you-
that's what we need to do, is we need to communicate. Also, I think, my background is, I've managed multi-million-dollar corporations, and I've been the person who's been in charge with budgets that are bigger than the town of
Town,
Pepperell.
yeah.
And so, because of that, I've learned about balance sheets, income statements, I know revenue, I have the understanding of that, and I can dig deep down into things. I don't want to go into FinCom. I think John Laddick and his people do a wonderful job, but that I can understand how the towns move, because I've managed businesses and hundreds of people, all at the same time, with similar but different challenges.
And the town is a business.
It is.
Yeah,
You're
it
exactly
is.
right. It is
Yeah.
a business. It is a business. We have monies coming in, monies going
Going
out. We have programs that
We have
we need to
deficits.
employees. We have contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, having managed what I negotiated, 6 labor union contracts
Wow, yeah.
in my career, so I've understood that side of it. Interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. Those are things that, again, when somebody from the personnel board says, what do you think? Or there's a challenge in a particular area of town, I've probably had some experience that I can at least relate to it, and if possible, could give some help. I don't always give my opinion, because I shouldn't. If they're doing their job, I'm going to leave them alone. But if I'm asked, I think I could do that. So I think that's how I don't know if I'm different, but I think it qualifies me as to what I'm doing.
Qualifications.
Yeah,
Fully,
that was
yeah,
good.
and
Yep.
30 hours a week is a full-time job. So
It's-
you're dedicating 30 hours a week of your personal time to do a volunteer job for the town.
It needs to get
That's-
done the way
that's what
I
you're
want to
doing.
do it. Not everyone would have to do it, not everyone would want to do that, but if I'm committed to the community, I'm not gonna part-time do it, I'm gonna make sure it
But the
gets done.
town actually needs that,
No,
right? I
Yeah,
think it
he's
does.
already done it once. He wants
Yeah.
to do it
I'd like to
again.
do it
Again,
again. I
yeah.
know, didn't
Continue.
scare me, Sandy.
I'm glad.
That's
Good.
good.
Glad, yeah.
No.
I don't have any more questions. I don't know if you want to summarize, or do you have anything else? I don't think we missed
No, I
anything.
think
Okay.
you're for the 2.5.
Yeah.
You're voting yes. Okay.
I already said that in a public meeting,
All
so.
right. So
and,
that's
um,
important.
But I want to work with the schools, and we did this year, we worked with the schools
Yeah, you
starting
did.
back in, I think it was April or May, to start communicating and getting information and doing
Mm-hmm.
that. I guess in summary, I really hope that, the voters see that I've worked very, very, very hard
Yeah.
over the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I also hope that the voters see that I represent all of the town, and I don't focus
Mm-hmm.
on single issues or areas of my own personal interest.
Mm.
I hope the voters see that I'm a collaborator, and I'm a collaborator within all the boards, commissions, the committees here in town, but also I've developed a tremendous relationship with the town administrators and the other select board members from other towns so that we can learn from one another. So we all talk and we have information and we say, what can I do to help? I hope the voters see that I spend time meeting with the businesses that are local here. And also I volunteer in the community. I mean, I volunteer at Patch. I volunteered at the Albert Harris Center, as I said. One time I moved furniture at the Albert Harris Center on a snowy day. And then I also will serve lunch. I volunteered at the library book sale and just had a tremendous time doing those things. I also meet with and support our fire, our police, and our EMTs. And the thing that I try to drive at is how we as a community can keep them safe every day, because they're out there for us and they're out there on the front line. So I want to tell you that I absolutely enjoy this select board job position, and I hope to earn the confidence and the trust of our voters.
Okay.
I would like to like to win
Yeah.
and be here for at least another 3 years. So I want to thank you very, very much
Yeah,
for the
thank-
opportunity.
No, we want to thank
We
you.
want to thank you.
Because actually, we watch the meetings, and
Yeah.
what you just said about what you do comes through clear if you watch a meeting.
Yes.
You have no personal agenda, and you're
No.
for the community.
Yeah.
I don't see any decision that you've made that doesn't have community first.
I'm really
So
trying.
we thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Please vote for
Yeah.
Mark Mathews on April 22nd, and I'm looking forward to serving the public for another 3 years.
Okay, so thank you, PCM. And for anyone who hasn't caught Mark at committees, every single committee is on Pepperell Community Media. You just punch in that and they will all come up. Get to know who you're voting for. Thank you. Cut.